Cue frame 17, Joe Perry to break.
Everything suffers from comparison with how Ronnie O'Sullivan played yesterday, but yesterday afternoon session between these two was pretty good by any other standards. It produced 3 centuries, 2 from Carter, 1 from Perry. Pot success rate for the whole match, 91% Carter, 89% Perry. Well, that was supposed to be a shot to nothing, but Carter caught it so thin that counted another ball.
Not the sort of shot he was hoping for to start this session.
One.
Good angle now to bring reds into play, because he's got one near the middle pocket that as long as he gets plenty of power into this here, he should be okay. Now that red's going close to the middle, the white's going close to the middle, but he's okay. There was always those reds.
8.
And we're going to be available to the middle pocket.
9.
A good start, always desirable, but particularly important for Perry this morning as he resumes 2 frames behind.
Yeah, that 14th frame was a big turning point in this match. Ali Carter was in fine form. He'd won 6 frames in a row, was on his way to a 7th. He'd had a break of 64, no 51 he had actually, and lost the frame on the black, and that got Joe Perry going again.
$14. $19.
Got a bit of angle. Little bit of angle there. If he can drop it in, he could just come out into the table there. Oh, he's hit it too hard.
20.
Well, it shot off the end of Dennis's line. Bad misjudgment.
Yeah, that type of shot, Clive, the cloth is so responsive. You've only just got to touch it. I mean, it really is quick, this cloth. And the players certainly are producing some terrific snooker on it. That's the way they like it.
Joe Perry, 20.
Ali would have a go at the red into the right corner pocket if this red wasn't near the back cushion behind the black. That's why he's looking for the safety.
Foul.
That's made quite a big difference. Had the cue ball not quite dropped, the next shot was going to be very awkward indeed for Carter.
Now the only thing is, if he sends the red in off the black, he may not be on the pink, so he would like to pot that directly into the pocket, and then the black would be available. Just steadying himself, and that's the best thing to do. If you're not comfortable, get up, walk away, and then get back down on the shot. Wow, that's certainly opened things up.
Well, this was a very important shot. If Carter could have knocked it in, there was every possibility of a sizable or even frame winning break.
In fact, he could have left something easier than this. When the red spread like that, Ali thought he would have left Joe right in them. There's only one red that'll pot at the moment. That's the one into the middle pocket. It's not straightforward just yet until he gets, well, the pink back on its spot would certainly help things. Now he's tried to, oh, that was a clever little shot there. He tried to just nudge the black on the way past, which would have brought that into play, but he was always going to be on a red. But just if he had just flicked the black, it would have developed red and black. But if he can get on the pink off this red,
four.
I'm just wondering if the pink's going to be tied up a little bit, because there's reds blocking it into the left corner pocket. Meanwhile, Joe's played a poor positional shot. Still got a pot on. I think the pink may be available into one of the corner pockets. Clearly it pots there. But as I say, he played a poor positional shot, cannoning the blue.
There was a lot of room, but somehow or other he picked the blue out.
If he takes this pot on, well, he's changing his mind. He was going to take the one to the right of the pink. Well, he still might do. There is a shot on. It's a tough shot with the rest, but if he stuns that red in, cannons the other red, he'd be on the pink. Now that's not a bad option. He's looking to see if he can find a gap, but I would have a go at this. He's pretty good with the rest. If he hits that red full ball, he'll be perfectly on the pink. Well, he doesn't like it.
And one reason for that is that he knows full well he should have been on something much easier.
Is he going to take that on?
Foul. Joe Perry 10.
I'm not sure whether he did try the cannon or not, but it was an option for him. Maybe he did try it and didn't just get enough on it.
Well, one of the problems there was that the potting angle was relatively thin, and it was therefore quite difficult to miss the second ball.
Well, the one that Joe's looking at is not the easiest of pots. If the white was out in the middle of the table, it's a sitter. But from this angle, it looks as if it's a comfortable pot, but it's far from easy. And he cued it very well.
1.
This is the third chance that Perry's had in this frame.
3.
Already 25 in front.
4.
Yes, he's not scoring that many off the pots because he's finished on the yellow 2 or 3 times. As long as you keep potting them, that's the main thing. Black's out of commission still. Unless you can get to this red near the black, but it's not available.
Seven.
I don't think I've ever seen so many yellows being potted.
Well, this will be the third in this break.
I wouldn't even dream of asking you that, Clive. What's the record for reds and yellows potted? So I won't ask you that.
9.
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask me, Dan, because I don't know.
Okay. 10.
That was a heavy contact, and the fact that he's been potting yellows, he still needs a few more pots. It's took the pace out of it, which makes the positional shot now more difficult. A straight pink, you've got 3 reds waiting. And I've just got to drop this in. And the middle of the three reds is the one he'll be on.
16.
Well, not too bad. Blew straight-ish to corner. Shouldn't be a problem, but the cue ball was lower than he intended it to be.
23.
So already Carter needs a snooker.
The only problem here, if he's straight on the brown, well, he might as well just pot the brown and then play the red that's next to the black. That's all he can do, because he'll be snookered on the other red. Might be able to hit the one near the pink, but
27.
no problem. Just he's having a look at that now, but the frame's fairly safe now.
Joe Perry, 27.
To leave Carter needing two snookers, so it looks as if Perry has reduced his arrears to 9-8. So that removes any lingering doubt about the outcome of this frame. Perry hasn't won it all that convincingly.
8.
But he has nevertheless won it.
9.
He needed 3 opportunities, but this will have settled him down.
$16. 18. 21.
There's only been one frame in this match which hasn't produced a break of 40 or more.
25. 30.
Not that Perry would even have thought of it, but that sequence will be preserved. He pots pink and black.
36 on the frame.
Not bothered about the
Joe
black.
Perry.
So Carter's lead is reduced to 9-8.
There's a straightforward safety off the end red, but the last thing Joe wants to do is to knock the black safe. So let's see if he plays another one to get back down the table. He did. Had he played the other one, he would have pushed it straight onto the black, and the last thing the players want is to see the black going safe early on in a frame.
Carter has never reached a final on the tour, and only 2 semis. Perry has reached 1 final and 2 semis, so to be involved at this stage of the World Championship is certainly a lot more than either of them would have expected a couple of weeks ago.
And of course Ali Carter involved in a little bit of snooker history, making a second maximum break.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was that he said in his press conference that he always dreamt of doing it, but he felt that if he ever got the chance he wouldn't be able to, which showed a slight lack of self-confidence, but he proved himself wrong.
Well, the last black he knocked in that maximum break, the white was over near the cushion, and you couldn't have got a bigger pressure shot, and he put the black right in the center of the pocket. And then the celebrations were quite something, the way he reacted and the way the crowd reacted to him. It was a very, very special moment.
Couldn't avoid the cannon. His only aid to position from so close to the cushion was the natural potting angle, and it wasn't right to miss the green. Didn't drop too badly on the brown though.
Five. Okay. 6.
Bit of a heavy contact there. If he's straight on the black, he'd still be okay. Just depends. He can screw back. There is a red available into the same pocket. Yeah, he can screw back off the cushion and just out and leave a red. That's the angle he can screw, just past his hand there. That'll do. Well, can he get through for the black?
13.
Just has to screw it back again.
14.
Should be okay though. Only this time he's going to have to get the cannon, because they're all blocking each other into the right corner. How's your luck? Doesn't look very good.
21.
I don't think he's on a ball. He wanted to miss that red. If he hits the other two, he would have been absolutely perfect.
Yes, he did want to miss that red, but he didn't want to compromise the pot in any way by using the touch of left-hand side, which would have been necessary to avoid it.
Joe Perry, 21.
Oh, what a nudge on the ground. That's a useful bit of good fortune there. And not easy to land on a red and leave it safe. There's no red near a cushion, only the one over the left side. You can't get to that, and where the reds are bunched here, you've got to be very careful. Just needs dead weight. Is it going to reach? Is it going to reach?
Foul and a miss. Joe Perry, 4.
Well, above all, he didn't want to hit that too hard. But he got the right line.
Yeah, he's just pointing out because he could see enough of the cushion. It was somewhere near that line, maybe the first line slightly, but he just wants to land on that red. If he lands on the one to the right of it, he could leave the one that the line's on. He could leave it on.
Foul and a miss.
Joe's coming around to see
Joe
if that
Perry,
one I
4.
mentioned is possible. You see, the shot he played, if he had hit that any harder and made contact with the red, he would have left this an easy pot. So he's really better off hitting the one that's nearest the black.
This way. Joe.
That's definitely the one he needs to land on. I could have left it this time. A round of applause, but that's not the red he was trying to land on. He's left the pot.
One.
This is a very good chance now for Joe Perry.
7.
It could quite easily be 9 frames all in about 5 minutes' time.
8. 15. 16.
He won't risk going into those 2 reds. There's 4 around the pink. There's a couple of loose ones. You don't want to be playing a cannon at this stage. You could easily stick on them, so he'll forget about that. And that's even better. The one next to the pink is available.
23. 24.
Plenty of room Round the pink now.
$30. 31.
Very methodical break builder when he's in close, and his close control is usually pretty good.
I think he's overscrewed this. He played for the one to the left of the 3 and just got too
38.
much pace into it. A little bit harder, and the one next to the blue would have been available. But he didn't want to risk playing the cannon there because he only needs a... Well, that's the ball that he was looking for. 68 in front.
39.
Well, no, he still needs another one.
$44.
This red gives him the frame.
45. $50.
Joe Perry has done just exactly what he set out to do. Win the first 2 frames of the morning.
$51.
To get back to 9-all from 9-7 down overnight.
$57. Joe Perry, 57 in the frame.
So with that 57 break, Joe Perry levels the match at 9-all.
Might have a free shot here. You can take the red on to the right corner, and he'll go around the back of the 2 reds and black, and will avoid the red that's the left side of the table. That's if he gets the right connection on it.
One. Ali Carter, 1.
Well, surely he hasn't left this red to the left corner. Sometimes that little roll-up shot, it can drift slightly, and he can see it, and I'm just wondering if the pink's not available, he'd have to screw back towards the blue. Test of cueing this. Oh. Where's the red going? You know, I think he's got away with this. I think he's been very lucky. Once he missed the pot and he cannoned into other balls, you would have thought he was going to leave something, but what a result he's had here. Perfectly safe.
Dead straight. Just pulled across it slightly. I'm sure he's practiced that shot by the hour, but in a match you just get one try.
One.
Didn't spot that one live. Joe obviously did. The reason I say that, I didn't see him coming around the table to look at the plant. So,
3.
nevertheless, he's in amongst them.
Well, didn't mean to get into that so sharply. Intended to be above the blue.
He's just debating whether to have a go at the black or not. It's an easy blue, but he's got to get all the way around the table. He'd love to get on the red that's near the black. And the pink. Now the pink is available. The red slightly. He's got to be careful of that red. He's leaning over.
Not great though.
In fact, it might be end of break.
10.
So he's not going to capitalise on that plant he spotted.
All this because Perry didn't get above the blue a couple of shots ago.
Yeah, there he was actually having a look to see if the plant was on. So, and this was the execution. It just passed the black. Well spotted, Joe.
It should have led to a substantial break, but it hasn't.
Joe Perry, 10.
This red is a possibility. He's playing the safety shot, but occasionally you see a ball like this being potted, but with the cue ball tight on the cushion, it doesn't happen that often. He's hit it far too thin. In fact, he's brought the white back up the table and he's left the red he tried to cut in, so that's a mistake.
So, a chance to make substantial progress towards regaining the lead at 10-9. Spread over yesterday and today. Perry has won 4 of the last 5 frames.
8.
Yeah, he won
9.
with 3 opening frames of the match, didn't he? And now he's won, or he's on his way to winning 3 frames at the start of this session. He's got quite a lot of balls to pot, but he's in the driving seat at the moment.
$15. $16.
I remember at the end of that 14th frame when
22.
Joe Perry pinched it and went out of the arena. Ali Carter was in his seat and he shook his head as if to say, I really missed a chance there. He could have gone 9-5 in front.
Credit to Perry, though, he still had to produce a spectacular
28.
positional shot from pink for black, and that started his revival.
Yeah, you have to put that down as one of the shots of the championship, without a doubt, the pink to black that he played. And then, of course, he went on and made a break of 127 to get just 1 behind at 8-7.
$35. $36.
Not much available now. 3 reds the right side of the table. One of them's possible, the other 2 are a bit difficult. These 2 on the cushion behind the pink are awkward. He'd like to get the white just to the right of where it is at the moment to leave an easy pot, but from that angle he can't do it. He'll be slightly further away from it. But he seems to be pretty good with the rest. Joe Perry.
43.
And now that I've said that, he'll probably miss this. Played perfectly, and he's got an angle to develop the reds near the cushion.
Perry has potted 3/4 of his rest shots, as has Carter.
Oh, he's played to drop in behind this one. He didn't want to risk moving the reds, and he's played it well. Look where he's placed the cue ball there. He's left himself a choice of reds, which, I mean, that is pinpoint accuracy. He's got a red to the middle, he's got a red to the corner. That was a superb positional shot.
For frame ball, in effect.
And there's the reason why he didn't want to risk the cannon previously,
57.
because you're not guaranteed to get good position if the cannon doesn't work. And that's why he played over on the 2 difficult reds. Still might sneak this in, it's a thin one now.
58. 58 in the frame. Joe Perry.
With that 58 break, Joe Perry wins his third consecutive frame to regain the lead at 10-9.
It's amazing the number of times the players now are leaving this pot on. They're not getting the white far enough across, so as the green would cover this type of chance. There's the long pot success, red fairly even.
Missed that on the thin side.
You know, I know someone just coughed there, not purposely, and Joe wanted to stop really, and I think that just put him off. The timing wasn't very good there.
Carter needs to make an impact soon, having totalled only 9 points in the 3 frames played this morning.
Yeah, you've got to forget about the scoreline now and just your semi-final starting from now. When that sort of thing happens, you lose 3 in a row. There's no path, or no easy path back down the table. That's why Joe's having to think about this. That's what he's looking at. Well, it kind of shows you that that's a possibility, but there's no colour available. Black's tied up. So he may have to pot himself out of trouble here. If you can't see a safety shot, you might as well go for the pot. And he was close. Oh, has he got away with it? Not quite. I thought when he flicked the red he was going to get away with that. Just watch what happens to the white here. Just flicks off the red, but the red come up with the cue ball. He needs an easy one to get going, doesn't he? I thought he would pot that, but that's a little bit of pressure creeping in now.
Perry was at relatively short range there. He'll be disappointed to have missed that. When either of these players gets in front, they seem to be over anxious to press on.
Well, it is the biggest match in their career, fighting at the Crucible Theatre to get through to the final. So you can expect the longer the match goes on, you're going to get a few errors because of the occasion, and quite rightly so. That's the Crucible arena there, and even the people on the back row get a good view, and that's what they're playing for. It's quite an elite club to get your name on that trophy. 21 winners in over 70 years, Clive.
Right, and Joe Davis held it undefeated for the first 20 years, although it wasn't played between 1941 and 1945. The very first match that was ever played in the championship, two old billiard players, Melbourne Inman, as we see Carter's escape, Melbourne Inman, Tom Carpenter. Inman won 8-5, and it took a week, not because they were slow players, but because they only played 2 or 3 frames a day between sessions of a billiards match. Sorry.
Well, just while this little safety battle's going on, going back, the great Walter Lindrum played at Buckingham Palace, Clive, for, I think it was George VI, was it?
Yes, I'm not sure whether it was the 5th or 6th, but he did play there. Quite a few of the old billiards players did. Now, an error, but not perhaps quite as serious an error as Carter was hoping for.
He can't get an easy starter. Well, that rhymes, doesn't it? He can't get an easy starter, Carter. But that's what he needs just to get going. Every time he comes to the table, no wonder he's scratching his head. He's got a difficult pot to look at. And once he kissed that red, Joe thought he would have left something easy for Ali, but he hasn't. Even this red with the rest, he's got quite a bit to do to get back for the pink or blue. If he's dead straight, he'll screw it back. No, just can't get going.
So Perry's mistake costs him nothing. The sort of shot that he would have potted had he been up and running and in the groove.
Good curing there. It was just hampered a little bit. The brown was in his way, but straight down the heart of the pocket.
Perry has won 5 of the last 6 frames.
Certainly growing in confidence when you knock that type of shot in.
6. Seven.
The run of the ball plays such a big part in the game of snooker. Joe's playing very well, but any time he makes a mistake, he seems to be getting away with it. And when that happens, well, it doesn't have to make you feel good, but your opponent doesn't think too much of it. can't beat a little run of the ball.
13.
Well, at any sport, if you get it, it makes it much easier.
With snooker, if a bit of luck goes your way
19.
with an initial shot, then you can sometimes go on from it and win the frame, whereas in a sport like tennis, you win a lucky point and you've just won that 1 point, and the next point starts from scratch.
I didn't realise you were so good at tennis. Did you almost get to play at Wimbledon, Clive, when you were young?
Well, I did play in Wimbledon qualifying a couple of times when it was a lot easier to get into it than it is now.
Having to work very hard for these because of the reds all congested around the black there. He's under-hit this one slightly though. That's where he wanted the white, but he can still take this on. Where's the white? Oh,
26.
Problem now though. To get on a red from this position, he'd have to hammer the blue in and somehow get it around the table. He looked a little anxious there, Joe, thought the cue ball was going in. Now, is he winding himself up for a power shot? He is. No, surely he's not. He is. Has he missed the green? No.
Well, even if he had got the cue ball round,
31.
it was by no means automatic position on his next red.
Joe Perry, 31.
Pretty good length once again. Ali Carter faced with a very difficult situation. It looks like he's got a slight bit of angle on that red, but he's got to try and make something happen, but you could do with something easier than this. It's almost straight. The white could go in the pocket here. It was a good pot. It was a very good pot, but I did mention it was straight and he tried to just pinch a little bit.
Sometimes with a straight pot, if the object ball goes in one side of the pocket rather than the other, you don't go in off. But nothing much going for Carter at the moment.
Now then, this is a chance. He can drop this red in and he'll be on the black, and this will be the first chance really that Ali Carter has had in this session so far. And giving himself a good telling off there, but this is key now for Ali Carter. Perfect. Little cannon onto the red. Will develop the other two reds. And a chance to get back into this final frame before the mid-session interval. A frame he could do with.
The initial red was Carter's first pot for 26 minutes.
8.
It's just finished a funny little angle here, so that's why he's had to head up
9.
for the blue. And it's just complicating things slightly. Just that fraction when he played the cannon, the two reds. Sometimes the frames can go like that. You're only a fraction out either way. You can still just screw back a little bit, leave the red to the left corner.
And he could pick his angle for this red from the simple blue.
14.
I think he can drop it in and avoid the cannon on the reds there, so he'll be on pink or blue.
15.
Oh, that's terrible cueing from
Ali Carter, 15.
Ali there. He wanted to be straighter on the pink, but still, that is a poor shot, and that will hurt. He's missed it by quite a way. I think he may go on the practice table with Terry Griffiths at the mid-session interval. Ali.
Very likely, but I think maybe even more valuable will be what Terry Griffiths has to say to him in terms of reassurance. Still a long way to go in this match. First to 17 wins.
Well, Terry Griffiths has been here enough times himself, so he will tell him to forget about what's just happened to get the 4 frames. You're only 2 behind, and start from now. But he's not quite 2 behind just yet.
Four.
Blue, and he can finish on choice of reds. He can play for the one that's between the black and pink spot. If he screws it a bit further up, he's got the one next to the black. So he's just looking at the scoreboard, 27
9.
in front, working out how many reds he needs.
Ten.
Oh, this could be a problem, because he needs to stun up to leave the red that's next to the black, and the green's hampering him now to play that little screw shot. So he's got to travel a long way around the table to get to that. And that's a poor shot from Joe Perry.
Well, it was nothing like what he attempted. I believe that he was playing with right of centre, striking to check the cue ball off the side and baulk cushions. Because the cue ball was going nowhere in that direction, nowhere profitable for him.
Yes, the shot you mentioned,
Perry,
Clive. He mishit it completely. He was playing with loads of bottom and right hand side, and that's what he was attempting, to get up to that red, and he didn't. He hit it all wrong, and that's why he reacted the way he did. Joe Perry needs red, colour red. That's a terrific shot. Just nestling on this one. Played it a bit hurriedly there, did Ali. He just didn't seem to get down and just play the shot, and he's left one to the middle, so we'll be glad to get to the mid-session interval just to sort out a few things, and as I say, on the practice table, play a few shots.
One.
There's his red. There's his colour. And the next red secures
8.
a 2-frame lead.
Nine. Sixteen. 17. 24.
This frame makes it 6 out of 7 for Perry from 8-5 down. Mr. Carter has scored only 24 points in the 4 frames we've seen today. Joe Perry has turned his 9-7 overnight deficit into an 11-9 lead at the mid-session interval. Play resumes after the mid-session interval, with Perry leading 11-9, having won 6 of the last 7 frames, spread over yesterday and today. Each separate half session is a kind of new start, and Carter certainly needs to make it a new start for him. He's not been in contention in any of the 4 frames played this morning. Perry has been steady and pretty solid, but no more.
Well, Ali's played a very good safety there, because It's not straightforward, the shot that Joe's looking at. He's got to avoid the cannon onto the red there. He's got to play with a little touch aside and miss the double kiss on the way back down. Oh. He almost caught that red on the way down. It's a good shot. It's a very, very good shot, but we're so close to double kissing the red he played. Just watch this.
We were talking prior to the mid-session interval about Terry Griffiths, Carter's coach, having a few words with him and some reassurance, but Griffiths is also Perry's coach.
Yeah, they're both with 110 Sports, and Terry is available to the players that are with them. Used to be with Stephen Hendry, Mark Williams, and then Mark left and went back again. So all the 110 players have got access to Terry Griffiths. So who's he cheering for? Clive, do you know?
Well, he would be scrupulously impartial, I'm sure.
Can he get the plant? But the black has rebounded, and not very favourably. Okay, he would have been lucky to have finished on the black, but he was in a hole there.
Bravo.
So
Carter won.
all that was left from the plant for Carter was a safety, and the plant itself was not conventional, because it wasn't red onto red, it was red onto black onto red.
Yeah, and if the black had just been a little bit nearer its spot there, he could have got through to it, but it got him out of a tight spot there. And talking about tight spots, just having a quick look, Joe Perry's in one now. He can't get between blue and pink to get to the reds there, just to the right of the pink. That is not available to him, so it's the two cushion get out. He's have to be so precise. Better to miss them altogether with the first attempt and then try and
Carter 4.
readjust. Ali will have this replaced.
Okay. Look there first. You couldn't see that one full bar. Yeah, buddy.
The players are very fair-minded when a referee has to make such a precise replacement. Very rare
Foul
to see a squabble.
on the miss. Carter 4.
He just needs a slight readjustment.
Okay. Right.
Somewhere near that line will get him to the right side of the red as we look at it, I'm sure. Bit thick, but has he covered everything? I think he's okay, you know. All blocking each other. This might cut in, you know. Playing the safety shot, but I think there's a gap past the black and reds for it to go in the left corner. Be a safety shot, but you'll get close to the pot here. It's one of those, if you do pot it, then you can play a terrific snooker if you don't finish on a balk colour. There's the red, you can see there's a gap, and it's there. One. And now a chance to put Joe bang in trouble again.
Ollie Carter one.
Not just behind the yellow, but tight up behind the yellow.
This is not an easy one. The red you'd be looking to land on would be the one that's nearest the back cushion here, but I can't see a way through to that one. All the avenues seem to be blocked off. He'd like to maybe land on the two reds near the left corner pocket, but to strike over the yellow from that distance he would need a long spider, and that's what he's looking at, but that's going to be so difficult also. He's got a big problem here. Well, if he can go twice across the table, he might just be able, you know, looking at it, to land on the red I mentioned. I'm not sure. No, I don't think he can make that angle. Needs a bit of luck here.
Foul and a miss. Ollie Carter 4.
There was only a missable short range cutback red on, so Carter hoping for something better.
Now does this cut in two reds that are together, the one nearest the pocket? If it doesn't, once again Ali hasn't got a chance. Even if he can cut it in, he's not sure where the cue ball is going to finish. That's the one he's looking at. So white will be picking up pace here. Might be able to get over behind the brown here. Oh, he's gone a bit thin. That wasn't the shot he was looking for. That's a possibility, but Joe looked at the safety shot. He's back looking at this red. He's back looking at the safety shot. Wants to keep the pressure on.
Cue ball over the awkward, congested side of the table.
There is an escape, thin one off that will get him back up the table. And he might even go close to cutting it into the pocket. Don't think he's is he playing that one? He was, and didn't he play it well? Bit risky to try and force the green in, so he's playing the snooker again. Oh, he's played it perfectly.
On the count of one.
Tight up behind. Perry can't get to very much of the side cushion.
Well, I don't know if he can see enough of the cushion to go twice across again, but it's so close to the green that may not be available to him. That little expression tells you, don't like this one. Well, that is difficult because he's got to get the cue out of the way, so close to the cushion. I think the line eyed up somewhere near that. Oh, he's got. Now watch this shot. He's going to wobble in the jaws of the pocket and hope for the best. He was always going to hit something there, going in the jaws of the pocket, but hadn't a clue what was going to happen there. And now, Ali Carter, well, he deserves this chance. Clive, he's had Joe in all sorts of trouble. Now, can he take advantage?
One.
He certainly needs to.
Well, not the best start, really. He wanted to be straighter on this black. He's done well to hold that.
8. Nine.
You want to take the black and then remove the red there in the circle. That would clear the black into both corners, so you can just screw back a few inches, leave that one on. Well, he's overscrewed it. Now that is a bit careless.
16.
He can't believe what he's just done there.
Well, this cloth is ultra responsive, assisted by the under table heating, but Carter has been playing on it, or cloth identical to it, for almost 2 weeks, so that was pretty disappointing. Loss of position.
Yeah, that's where he wanted it, where I've got the other white, and then he just drops it in and he's on the black again. Now he's got to... He doesn't want to nest on this red. He's okay.
17. 23.
Once again, the old mid-session interval coming into play. It seems to have changed the run of things, as it so often does.
.24.
I said before the match I couldn't see either player winning easily.
31.
And if it is close this evening,
32.
then there might be some fun for us as one player or the other, or perhaps both, tries to nail down a match-winning chance in the most important match of his life.
Yes, I think we're in for a little bit of drama at the Crucible Theatre this evening, because you can't
39.
pick between these two players. Nothing as exciting as seeing two players out there trying to cope under extreme pressure.
.46.
Just red-pink then, or red-black.
47.
And Carter will have the frame.
.54.
And that black stops the mini rot.
.55.
Eight reds, 3 pinks, 5 blacks. And at a very important juncture, having lost
62.
the last 4 frames and 6 of the last 7.
.63. .68.
Didn't mean to cannon the pink, but didn't have a wide margin of error to cannon the 2 reds. The break ends on 68, but Carter's happy with that. He reduces his deficit to 11-10.
This will just be a safety shot. There's no value in trying to pot this. The black's not available.
There were reds to far corner, but Carter judged them too risky.
Ali just pointing to the green with his cue there is the most annoying thing in the game of snooker, when you play a safety shot and you keep catching the ball colours, and he even knocked the green safe, and as he walked away he pointed the cue to the green.
Yes, accusingly, but it wasn't the green's fault.
Just watch Ali here, you dirty green.
Very good safety from Perry.
Yeah, you can only see the left side of the reds, and the pink's in the way of getting back up the table. That's what he's looking at. Hawkeye shows you there, if he played off the reds he probably can on the pink. That's why he's coming off the side cushion. Oh, he's hit the wrong ball. What a mistake that is. What a misjudgment that is. He played into the pack. Okay, the black's out of commission, the pink's not perfectly placed, but he wasn't played to catch that red. Oh, he's got a great chance now of developing the black. If he can get on the red that's just to the left in such a way, he can pop that and bring the black into play. Hadn't got the angle to do it this time, but he will have in a couple of shots' time. Can do it now, I feel. Well, no, he's finished a bit straight. I don't know if he can power this in and make the angle. He needs to force it in to get over there. And that's gone wrong. End of break.
12.
Got the necessary stun, but needed perhaps a shade more of right of centre striking.
Joe Perry, 12.
Yeah, he was just a fraction out here. Where I've got the other red, that's where he was trying to get to. And he didn't quite get the side on it. might be able to have a go at this one if he can get around the back of the black and reds. It's a thin one though. He's looking at the potting angle, and he'd need to get a terrific amount of left hand side on that, so he doesn't fancy it. Well, let's see if Ali Carter has a look at it and whether he'll fancy it. Got a slightly better angle, so same type of shot, lots of left hand side on the cue ball to swing it around the black.
One.
Well, he thought he was going to swing it around, or a bit unlucky eventually to go into it and finish like this. Just got to be careful with this one that he doesn't catch the loose red there, the right side of the table. That's the Ray Reardon used to do that. He had the spider and the rest on top of the spider to give him a little bit more height. Played it well.
Ali Carter 1.
Good solid pot that, and plenty of room to manoeuvre the cue ball back towards the baulk line, but a little bit close to the side cushion for comfort. Can only really rely on the natural potting angle for position. But as it happens,
6.
it was a friendly angle, so as long as he potted the blue and had the right strength on the cue ball, he was bound to be on this red.
7.
Well, he's going to have to concentrate on blues. The pink is available, but I think we might see Joe just trying to pot reds and blues here. As long as he keeps getting the correct
12.
side of the blue.
$13.
Didn't quite get the red that he played to cannon into. He wanted to miss this one and hit the 2 just to the right of it, and it would have been perfect. He's still got the red here, but he's close to it, and he may have to play for the pink this time.
19.
And had the ideal angle to do so. Now if Perry could win this frame, that would take him to 12, so he couldn't be behind going into this evening's final session.
That's well played. He's got the pink available into a couple of pockets.
25.
At the moment it'll go in the left middle pocket, but when he removes this red, it'll be available into the right corner, just to the right of Perry on your screen there. Well, he's changed his mind. No, he's back to the one. It's the correct shot. This, it does clear the pink, as you can see.
26.
See, that's thinking 3 shots ahead there. Pop the blue, pop the red, and the pink is clear for the right corner.
31. 32. 38. 39. 45. 46.
I mean, the standard both players are producing. Look at that, they're both at 90% pot success rate, so that's very good. And a lot of the frames have been won with, you know, one visit.
53.
Perry assured now of a 12-10 lead.
$59. 60.
This will be the 7th frame of the last 9 that Perry has won.
$66.
I think if Joe Perry could open up a 3-frame advantage again, he would take a bit of pegging back the way he's queuing Clive.
Yes, the worst that he can be at the end of this session
73.
is 12 all, but he could be 13-11. He could be 14-10.
74.
And 14-10 in particular would take some getting back.
He's got an angle on the yellow just to stun over behind
18.
the green. Be nice if he could continue here.
Of his 6th century of the tournament, but 82 was enough for what he wanted, a 12-10 lead. Joe Perry hoping to convert his 12-10 lead into a commanding advantage going into this evening's final session.
And once again, this red available into the right corner from the break-off shot. Okay if you get it right. But if you get it wrong, let's see the outcome. Pink and black going up the other end of the table, which is unusual at the start of a frame. It's a tricky one, this, bridging over the red. Yeah, there can always be missed, those. And Ali can get through to it. Okay, he's got to find a gap, but I think he can get up for the blue. Not the best, really. He's got the blue, but it looks as if he potted it into the right side of the pocket. That's why the white's finished close to the cushion. But this blue, I'm not sure if he can avoid the cannon onto the green. He might be able to do, but he'd have to play it with a little bit of power. If he just rolls it, I think the white would cannon the green. So he's not even going to bother with that.
Yellow ball.
Tried to screw in behind the pink.
Ali Carter 1.
Of course, it's glory that these players are after. An appearance in the World Championship final. In all probability, the best chance either of them will ever have. So the money is secondary, but just for the record, it's £52,000 for a losing semi-finalist, £125,000 for the runner-up, and £250,000 for the champion.
Well, he tried to send that red into the bunch of reds, and look where it's going to finish. And depending on how straight he is here, he may be able to screw back and leave the black on. If you can get the black back up onto its spot, that would help.
One.
Played to leave black straight at the middle.
Yeah, that's where he wanted it there, and then he would have had an easy black and would have been able to get up to the reds. So it's the brown that will get him up there, but he needs to play it with a lot of top spin. No, he's just leaving a longish one. And these need good cueing because he's got to screw back here.
5. Nine.
Carter has lost 5 frames out of 6 today, but he knows that if he can win this one and the remaining frame of the session, he'd be 12 all, Going to this evening's final session.
If you could screw back into the circle, it'd be perfect. Missed the pot, took his eye off the pot.
Ali Carter 9.
Not a difficult ball, ordinarily.
He seems to have missed a few with the rest. He doesn't seem that comfortable with the rest. And you'd think, Ali's not the tallest of players, you'd think he'd be pretty good with the dreaded rest. But when I say dreaded rest, only for some people. I'm glad they didn't have stats around when I was playing. It would have been none out of 50.
Jimmy White was exceptionally good with the rest. It was his birthday yesterday. He's got the key of the door. Never been 46 before.
The world wins 46. That's amazing. Well, if you're watching, Jimmy, hope you had a good day. Yeah, he was very unlucky not to make it to the Crucible this year, Jimmy. Got to the last qualifying round. And Mark King beat him. That's very good. Black back on its spot, and he can go into the reds off the black. He's got the perfect angle here. If he judges this, he'll open things up. Somewhere along the line there with a little bit of left-hand side. How's your luck? Couldn't have played it much better.
19. $20.
Catching the bunch amidships. Didn't mean to cannon the black.
22. Joe Perry 22.
But knew that he had a good chance to score significantly more. %, pot success rate Perry, 90% Carter.
putt success for the tournament for Joe Perry, 92%. That's very consistent. Ali Carter sitting at 90%. Right, now this needs perfect cueing. Oh, that's a sweet shot, that. And he's got the kiss on the yellow. He'd looked at the possibility of a safety shot and in the end decided to take on the long straight red, and the kiss on the yellow turned out very nice for Joe. Now what sort of angle has he got on this red?
3.
Be nice if he could avoid kissing the other one. Can he? He could.
4.
And he's looked so relaxed throughout this year's 888.com World Championship. He went home between his match with Graham Dott and Stuart Bingham
11.
and spent some time with his lovely daughter Lexi, who's only 18 months old. And
12.
he's been very relaxed around the venue, Clive.
And he's certainly producing the best high-level consistency that he ever has.
19. $20.
There's the average shot time, Joe at 21 seconds, and in one of his matches he was at 16 seconds, believe it or not.
But only 21 for
25.
Perry is certainly quicker than he normally is. Oh dear, oh dear.
Joe Perry, 25.
Not too far from clinching the frame. He lets his concentration lapse on an easy one, but my point about the 21 seconds was that he's been flowing so easily from shot to shot, hasn't had to sort out a new shot choice because he's been putting the cue ball exactly where he wanted, but that was a case where he didn't put the object ball where he wanted.
Well, at least Ali hasn't left an easy starter for Joe Perry. Just stretching a little bit on that one. It's not easy when you're fully stretched to deliver the cue through in a straight line. But Joe's done this a good few times in this match where he's got to the stage where he's going to win the frame and then he breaks down.
Made some amends. Black plus one more red secures the frame.
$8.
That's great cueing near the cushion to play it at that pace.
Joe Perry, 8.
That was frame ball, and because of that there was more pressure on it.
could have put himself in a bit of trouble here. If he gets off the red, he can get in behind the pink. That's the shot that's available to him, if he can judge it. Still a good safety shot, but he was trying to get in behind the pink there.
Perry doesn't want to play that red, but he can't hit the one that's out from the cushion. Carter's the player who needs the clearance.
Oh, what a mistake. Well, at least the other red has gone safe on the side cushion, but he hit that much too thin. 45 the difference.
One.
He can drop in behind this. Either of the circles. I think he's got an angle to drop over there, and he would leave the red for middle or corner. I think he can do that. It's amazing he's gone right in the middle of those, which means the pot's a bit awkward into the corner, a bit awkward into the middle.
You've still got the easy.
This is a bit tricky, this one, having to raise the butt slightly. Well played, and he's on the pink. And not only is he on the pink, he can cannon the red out. That's the angle that he can make when he pots the pink. Big shot this. Not quite.
That was a good chance to develop that red.
It's funny how different players play this shot. I always prefer to try and get back behind the black. He's not looking at a double, surely. He is. And you never know where the red's going to go when you attempt that.
Carter 15.
But he had a good chance to put him in behind the black and send the red over past the blue.
Frame ball. Not that easy, particularly at a stage like this. Perry got a good length on the cue ball. He knew that the red was enough. He wasn't bothered about playing black ball position. Terrific pass. But a pretty unkind run of the ball.
Tight on the cushion, to knock that red in was quite amazing. And he didn't get a favourable kiss on the green there. That pot deserved to win any frame.
And would have done if he hadn't cannoned the green full ball.
Well, here we go. He's giving it everything here. This has got to go in because he will be on the yellow. Well played.
Carter missed that. He was handing a 13-10 lead to Perry.
4.
Well, Joe Perry will be kicking
6.
himself at the moment.
Yes, Perry was heading nicely for 13-10. Until he missed a very easy ball. That was it.
What a clearance this will be. That opening red was an unbelievable shot.
18.
And green to follow was pretty good as well because there was so much riding on it. Perry knows that he should have been 13-10 up. He pulled out a couple of great shots when his need was greatest, cleared the black, and now trails only 12-11. Carter could so easily have been 13-10 behind, but having snatched the last frame in spectacular fashion, maybe that will give him the momentum to level at 12 all going into this evening's final session. Meant to be a containing safety, and it will require a good shot from Carter to get started, despite the Perry in off.
But he has got a shot on here. He's getting it as close to the brown as possible. He can roll this red in, leave himself on the black. Wouldn't leave a great deal. Well, it's a bit awkward there, just to get the correct angle. He wanted to run through and come off the back cushion here behind the black and out onto it. I still think he can pull this shot off. It's a tough one. Well, it looks as if he's screwing back now. But if he ran through, he'd be on the black and wouldn't leave a great deal.
Well, again, that was all or nothing.
Well, that's similar to the green, isn't it? I mean, he's just forgot about leaving anything and knocked it straight in the pocket. Oh, that's not the kiss he wanted. Okay, but he didn't want to cannon that red. If he misses that red, he just comes off the cushion and he's got the easy one that he's finished up next to. He'd still pop the one in the right corner and get onto the black.
7.
Little stun shot would take him round the back of the black. Could use 2 cushions, but somewhere near the end of the line would do him.
8. $15.
Hit the cannon too hard. The red needed to be potted almost at its last roll.
Well, he's having the black clean, so that tells me that he's going to have a go at cutting it back into the corner. It's a very thin one. Means the white will head up into the bulk area. Might even cannon that red that's near the middle pocket, but this is a thin snick. Bit unlucky. He's got a long straight red to go at, but without the cannon on the green he would have been perfectly on the one near the middle pocket. But some of the balls he's been knocking in, don't be surprised if he doesn't knock this long one in also. Well, it's his turn to have a run of the ball. He's going to leave the one in the middle pocket, but now that the white's finished where it is, he's got away with that. But I suppose earlier on it was Joe Perry, when he missed, was leaving things awkward. This red that Joe's looking at, surely that doesn't cut. Didn't think so.
Well, Perry has got perfect length, but on that line the red was going dangerously near the right corner. Well, that was pretty well a natural cannon, but not costly. Well, that's two dodgy safeties in a row from Carter. And he's got away with both of them.
Yeah, you would have thought there would have been a lot more tactical battles, Clive, but it's been very fluent, this match. Certainly in the break building department. They're both very good tactical players, but hasn't been quite as much safety play as I thought there was going to be, which is good to see. They're taking their chances, they're coping with the pressure of their first semi-final here at the Crucible, and they're both putting up a very good show here.
Well, that's the third poor safety from Carter on the bounce. Perry remained at the table after sending this red wide, wondering why he missed it. Well, I think the increasing tension had a lot to do with it. Average frame time pretty brisk, only just over 18 minutes a frame.
One.
Well, not good. Well, of course it's good. I didn't see the green.
Yeah, he's got a good angle on the green to even go into the reds if he wants, because they're all covering each other, so it might be a good opportunity just to play the cannon into it. If he wants, that's the sort of angle he's got to go into the reds. He's took his eye off the green. He's got away with it again, though. The luck has turned. Every time Ali makes a mistake, he's getting away with it.
Well, absolutely no reason to miss that. Perry dissatisfied with his safety, as well he may be. He was so near to taking a 13-10 lead. It's only 12-11 now, and he's 28 behind in this frame.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Clive, about the cue power of Ali Carter. Have a look at that almost the full length of the table, and he creates the backspin. That's a shot that's not available to a lot of the professionals.
4. Five.
Try and get the red away from the black spot and then pot the black. That'll be his plan of attack here. That's played perfectly.
10.
Yeah, that's well played, because he knows the two reds are available into the same pocket that he's potting the black, and he can get over behind them. He's got choices. He can play around to leave those two reds. I think that's the type of shot he probably will play, as long as he misses the pink.
Nineteen.
I think he's okay here. May have to play for the blue, but he can avoid the reds.
25.
Little stun shot, screw shot will take him up for the blue.
26.
Bit short of pace though. It's going to be a slightly longer pot than he would have wanted. Going to be some session this evening, Clive. It's going to be tense in the crucible.
Red, black, red needed.
He'd love this red to be available. Otherwise he'll have to play the cannon, because he's going to need one more red to make absolutely sure. Joe Perry could still tie after this black, and the red is available at the back of the little group of four there.
39.
It must be quite tight, this.
Safely in.
Ali Carter 40.
But it's still snookers needed.
On the frame.
Perry concedes. Perry was heading for a 13-10 lead. Missed an easy ball, and Carter going for his shots. Won that frame and the last to level at 12-all going into this evening's final session. Steve, is there any chance